I just want to mention, Belichick talking about Matt Groh. And, it's interesting. We talked about Groh getting the gig over Elliott Wolf. And at first, I don't know if it made sense to you. You questioned it a little bit. And to me, it was a little weird. But now when you pull back from 30,000 feet, I think it makes more sense. Like, Matt Groh is college guy, college football dude, understands the draft better than I think anybody in that building.
Yep.
Elliott Wolf is more the NFL guy, the NFL personnel guy. And so if you're Belichick, you say to yourself, well, me and Elliott can handle kind of the NFL personnel side of this. Like I've got that in a headlock. And you kind of marry that stuff with, you marry that with the thoughts of Kraft and what he said last year and again this year about the draft and how they stunk at drafting. And when you pull back from 30,000 feet, it makes more sense, that Belichick would tab the guy who was the draft guy, the college football guy, and say, okay, we're building this team through the draft. Last year, of course, they crushed, they went after it in free agency, as we've talked about. But we had a great draft last year with Groh in a position in the hierarchy. If we have another killer draft this year, that's 2 years, we build momentum, and let's put the guy that is better at that side of the job than me and Elliott. Let's let him run this thing here, because this offseason is going to be more focused on the draft. And moving forward is going to be more focused on the draft. And we're not going to be spending, as you said, hundreds of millions of dollars in off seasons every offseason. So it actually makes more sense to me when I think about it and when I hear Kraft talk about it, that they took the guy who had the college football draft background and made him the dude instead of the guy who had the NFL personnel background, because I think Belichick feels pretty confident that as far as NFL talent, kind of knows what he's doing, and Elliott can help him with that stuff. Does it make sense to you, Greg?
Yeah, it does. I mean, there's a line of thinking that Belichick promoted Groh instead of Elliott Wolf because Wolf had two more GM, interviews this past offseason. I think it was Minnesota and Chicago, and was a finalist for both. And Belichick is sick of hemorrhaging people on, just sick of hemorrhaging people. And like, if I do Elliott Wolf, then, he's going to be gone in a year and that sort of thing. I will say this, and I asked a lot of questions about Groh and, along with Patricia and Judge and things like that. And I got to say, and this is, yes, Belichick was very, he praised Matt Groh a lot on the record. From talking to people off the record at the league meetings, there's a tremendous belief in Matt Groh and what he can do, his smarts, his ability, and also I was surprised to learn people think that he will be will speak up to Belichick when it comes to what they're doing. I also think you talked about the pro side, not only Belichick, Groh, Matt Patricia does a lot of stuff on there, and also Joe Judge as head coach has a lot of pro background. Just like Belichick is good at identifying people in the NFL, I think those guys feel more comfortable there. Steve Cargile, let's not forget him. He runs the pro personnel side. I think he's very good. I think that Cameron Williams, the young kid that they promoted to director of college scouting, I think is a star in the making on that side of the ball. I will say, back to my point, people think Matt Groh is the cat's meow. I mean, they really do. I mean, I have no idea. So I'm going with what a lot of smart people think. I will tell you now in the distance, people are not exactly favorable to Nick Caserio and the job that he did and how sort of he did not have the voice to counter Bill Belichick. Dave Ziegler did a much better job at that. There's more confidence in Matt Groh and also just his overall talent in scouting the college. And I think that there's a lot of people in that building who believe in Matt Groh and think he's going to do a really good job.